coming into this new year, coming into content, kind of showing your face now. This is the first time you've really been in front of the camera, $50,000 payout. How does it feel? Or like, what are the next steps?
Like you said, put out more content and you start leveling up in that aspect, Instagram and social medias. Really, start focusing on trading a little bit more as well. Going live, been more funded than anything.
What gave you the confidence, or what made you get up every time?
Knowing what's possible, knowing you, especially in the last year, I knew that if he's doing it, I can do it. And I'm from a little small town about 2 hours away from San Diego. There's not a lot of money there, and that kind of pushed me to, make a name for myself out there.
Oh, how does that feel though? I was your age when I started, and now you're my age. You know what I'm saying? Like, not, but you're 20 and you're already killing it. Like,
I really thought about it yesterday. Actually, I was like, wow, I'm 20 years old, and they're 3-4 years older than me. 3-4 years, like, you can do a lot. You can do a lot.
A lot of M's.
Yes.
What's going on, everyone? I'm sitting down today with one of my top students, Nix. He was able to get a $15,000 payout, and I wanted to interview him, give you guys some tips and tricks on how he was able to make that $15,000. So hopefully a lot of you guys out there can do the same. So Nix, how are you doing, bro?
Doing good, bro.
So your real name's Nick. How did the S come? Nix.
I don't know. I don't like Nick. It doesn't ring.
Nick.
Adding the S.
Nix.
Yeah, adding the S just makes it a little bit more catchy. I don't know what it is. So
that's awesome, bro. So Nick is only 20 years old, and like I said, guys, was able to get a $15,000 payout. We did a one-on-one mentorship together, and I want to kind of interview you and see and kind of talk about the process, because it wasn't easy. I remember talking about all the psychology battles you were facing in the beginning, what you had to accomplish and go through to get here, and it all started kind of clicking or whatever. But first off, maybe just other people out there know like how long you've been trading.
4 years.
4 years?
Yeah.
So you started in like 2021 or 2020?
21, so maybe going on 4 years.
How did you find out about trading?
Through a friend. Yep.
Yeah?
Yeah, through a friend.
And then did you go the prop firm route at first, or did you go into
Straight
live capital?
Live.
Really?
Live. Lost a lot of money, but having that exposure early on really kind of set me up for my future trading.
Yeah, and like we've talked about, and I appreciate you so much, that losses come, and then they don't have to be losses if you treat them as lessons, right? So how was it kind of going through the stage of losing, kind of, because, as someone who worked with you, you knew the strategy, you were doing good. I felt like there was just things you weren't executing properly when you were supposed to, and then it all just started clicking, maybe because it was like college or whatever. Like, what do you think are some of the main attributes that helped you start actually getting to those payout stages, passing funded accounts, all that?
Definitely was just kind of eliminating the money aspect of things. I was so focused on that it would like almost, it would take away from my actual trading and my full potential. But focusing on the process really did take me to the next level.
What's your opinion on mentorships? Because you didn't really do anyone's before. I mean, you did some courses or whatever, but like, do you think that did give you a step towards success? Like, did that help?
Yeah, I think it did. I think it kind of opened my eyes to what's possible and giving me, a little bit more confidence in that this is legit. Like, I can do this. Yeah. Thankfully, like early on, I had a lot of like free content from YouTube. But again, like that can only go so far. Actually having someone who's doing it already really, really does help you.
So you said you started trading about like 4 years ago or whatever. When did you pass your first funded account?
About a year ago.
About a year? Yeah. So it's like right because I don't remember, honestly, when we were talking about it. I forget if you got funded before the mentorship or after. But, we got to work one-on-one. Like you said, mentorship, I think, helps a lot. That's how I was able to get profitable, was actually going in, finding someone who was doing it. And I've loved getting to work with you, become friends. Nick's traveled with me a bunch. We've gone around, and we hang out outside of it, and that came from being in trading, becoming homies. And now, I don't know, I like seeing you amount to success and going and seeing your hard work go and then get you $15,000, because he's 20, guys. At the end of the day, he's 20. You didn't go the college route. Do you think that's needed, or why did you not go that route?
I never liked school. I was good in school, but I didn't like it. I knew there was a lot more opportunity out there. And since a young age, I was super optimistic, super like, whatever I want to do, I can do it. And I think I was thankful that I got introduced to trading, because I was already in the mindset of, am I going to go to business school, law school? What am I going to do? And I got introduced, and I really got sold on it early on, because I made my first $80 in high school. And I was like, I remember telling one of my ex-girlfriends that, this is going to be 8,000 one day. Yeah. And I had the best day of my life. That went to school, made $80. I mean,
80 bucks. Hey, in high school, $80, you're like, I'm taking the girl out to some, whatever, food on me, snacks. Whatever.
And honestly, I vividly remember that. And I think that's why I really kept going, was like, I'm not going to go to college. My parents saw how much I wanted it. I worked every day. I traded every day, obviously, except for the weekends. But yeah.
What is some advice you can give to beginner traders who are like, maybe they already learned about it and they're starting to get into it? Like, what are some tips you can give to them to get to that next level?
First things first, I'd say be delusional. Like, see yourself in that position. What I did was I would be that person already before I was funded, before I was anything. And honestly, that got me introduced to a lot of people who then helped me become funded. But biggest thing at the beginning is just don't focus on the money. I mean, once I learned that, I was really, really like keened in on just being a better trader. A lot of things got easier. If I lost, I mean, I didn't care because I was like, hey, look, it's not about the money. It's about the process. The money's going to come with it.
And then what about like education wise? Like you said, you did learn a lot on YouTube. Even beyond that, what about demo versus live? Do you think you should start on demo and go live, or what about that? Because you blew a lot of money. I blew a lot of money in live accounts to start out. So what's your opinion on that?
I think everyone should experience the live markets. I'm not saying at first because that's what I did. And then I went to demo because I realized that, I need to learn a little bit. But I say everyone should start at demo. At some point, go to live, experience that emotional roller coaster, I guess you could say. And because it's definitely a lot different emotions, live and demo. So I think everyone should experience that.
Go get hit, get knocked out a little bit, get knocked down. You got to get up. So speaking on that, you get knocked down in trading all the time, and you did for a while. What gave you the confidence, or what made you get up every time?
Knowing what's possible, knowing you, especially in the last year, I knew that if he's doing it, I can do it. Yeah. And I'd sit there in bed, I'd see him, a lot of other people just making money. I'm like, they're doing something different, and I just got to figure out what it is, right? So having that exposure to like someone like Luca really does push you, really does, give you that extra push when you are down, when you're doing bad, and whatever it may be.
And just all of us, like he's gone to hang around. I mean, the way we originally met was he'd already followed me or whatever. I did a meet and greet in LA with Ollie, and we got to meet in person. He was there with some friends. They all were super cool, and we just kind of chopped up ever since. And then it went from like him asking me trading questions to, because I don't know, at that time I wasn't really doing any teaching or mentorship things really. It was like if I kind of mess with you, I would do one-on-one stuff outside. I didn't do like any boot camps, any of that type of stuff. And you're already into supply and demand. Like you already knew the concepts and stuff. So it's not like I was teaching you from support and resistance, trying to like turn you over. You knew good concepts and stuff. I just needed to like dial down, like following your strategy. Your risk management, I don't think was entirely there, but going for risk to reward, exit strategy, all these little things that I think really help. But we got to link up. He was super cool. I see a lot of like similarities in you that I saw myself when I was getting into trading, because at least when we first started working, you were going through a lot of psychology barriers that I was and that I had to go through. And I was like, oh, bro, I remember being in your place, but it's been a journey. Now we're like a year later, you're getting payouts, and you're 20. At the end of the day, you're 20 years old. So like, how does that feel at that age, and with people around you starting to get into trading, surrounding yourself with like traders? Like you just got to meet Tory Trades. You hear, got to go with Mamba, Cowboy, Ali and stuff. Like, how does that feel?
Honestly, it feels great, but sometimes I do have to step back because I still think at my age, I'm not doing enough because I am surrounded by a lot of older people.
Which is dope.
Yeah, it's super dope. But I do think that it does kind of sometimes mess up my mindset. But again, like I said, I've been stepping back recently and realizing, hey, I'm 20 years old, I'm doing fine. Just obviously keep up.
Because I'm personally, guys, I'm trying to get him to do some more content. He's such a good trader. Like if you guys go look at his Instagram, he's a bunch of free ebooks. He just so many free content. He live streams on my YouTube. He live streams on his YouTube. He has like a free Discord and stuff as well. Where I'm trying to have him grow because his skill set is there. So that's why. I mean, so I do a mentorship now. You can obviously go and try to apply for it. But I brought him in as a coach because he was one of those first people that I mentored one-on-one, showed him everything I know about trading and stuff. And I feel like you're able to relay it really well. You're kind of calm. You're like, I don't know, the way that you explain it. I've had a ton of people in the mentorship explain how they've really benefited from your teaching and stuff, which makes me feel good because I don't have to be on the call and trust them in your hands, which I can't do that with a lot of people. It's like you and then the other coach, Salva. It's like us three. Sal was another person who I taught, but just it's cool for me to see them go through the journey, get to profitability, and then now kind of bring you on to teach others, because at the end of the day, you were in that position, now you're killing it, and I want those same people to be in that position, and so do you. And like you care about all the people. You'll be doing some long calls sometimes too. Yeah. Like I'm not gonna lie, like I do like an hour and a half, whatever, but like you'll be on for like 2.5 hours, same with Salva, which is awesome. Providing value, that's important. But coming into this new year, coming into content, kind of showing your face now. Like, this is the first time you've really been in front of the camera. $15,000 payout. How does it feel? Or like, what are the next steps?
Next steps, like you said, put out more content. And you start leveling up in that aspect, Instagram and social medias, and really start focusing on trading a little bit more as well. Going live. I've been more funded than anything, more prop firms, but I think that's probably the next step is just start building live accounts.
How does it feel to go from like a student to then now like teaching alongside with me and stuff, and feeling like you kind of like, I don't want to say you made it yet because you're still going to accomplish more, but it's like you kind of went from like, like still trying to become profitable as one of the students, and now you're one of the coaches. It's
kind of surreal. I mean, it's a very nice feeling, but sometimes like I think I haven't processed it fully. I'm just going with emotion, going with the flow. Life's moving fast, and I'm just kind of coasting along with it. And sometimes I sit back and I'm like, damn, like I really am where I'd want to be.
Yeah.
Obviously, I still got a lot to do, but 2 years ago, I would never assume that I'd be in this position. So
Came a long way.
I did come a long way.
And it's like, if you want to let them know kind of where you're from, with a small town and all that type of stuff, like no one there really does a lot, right? Or it's not come from a lot of money or anything, right?
Yeah, no, I'm from a little small town about 2 hours away from San Diego. Yeah, there's not a lot of money there. I mean, there's money everywhere, but it's just a very wealthy town. But again, that kind of pushed me to, make a name for myself out there, and I would, travel 2 hours just to meet with Luca, and really, really wanted it. But going back to my story, I mean, I started in high school, 17 years old. I used her information to start trading. Yeah.
Which is dope. That's how you started early, is like having to use your, you're not old enough to even open an account, which is, I was 20, so I didn't have to do that, but that's pretty funny.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, how does that feel though? I was your age when I started, and now you're my age, or you know what I'm saying? Like not, but you're 20 and you're already killing it. Like you have a long way to go. Cause bro, like I know you look up to people, all of us that doing it, whatever, but like you're on that same trajectory to get there. Like you're pretty freaking close. You just got to keep being consistent.
I really thought about it yesterday. Actually, I was like, wow, like, I'm 20 years old and they're about 3-4 years older than me. 3-4 years, like you can do a lot. You can do a lot.
A lot of M's.
Yeah. So, and I actually heard Tori Trades like talking about how her uncle said like, you're so much younger than me when I started.
Yep.
And how you're gonna be so much bigger. I'm not saying I'm gonna be bigger, but I do have a lot of potential to make a lot of money in this next couple of years. So
I can't wait to watch it. You're gonna go get that funding. We're working on it, guys. We're talking about like scaling. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know how to do it on your own. I'm not here anymore. He's already his own coach, but I love like talking to him about it and holding each other accountable when it comes to the accounts, starting to get the futures and stuff, which is pretty fun. So, I mean, a lot to come, but as someone who's gone through and accomplished, there's a lot more to do, more to go, but you had to go through a lot, we've already talked about it. I kind of touched on it a second ago, but what do you think are some of the differences in you than a lot of other people that make you successful?
Again, delusion. Like I can go back to delusion
every time.
Yeah. I was just like, this is what I'm gonna do. I've never pictured myself doing anything else. Like, yeah, there's been times where, I was like working out, but I never not saw myself as a trader. I always imagine myself in San Diego, living out here, trading, and that's going to be the next step. But it's
no, that's fire. I mean, first off, I appreciate you driving 2 hours to come out and do the pod. I want to interview him, guys. At the end of the day, I think it's gonna help a lot of you guys out there understand, because like, bro, like we're both regular people. You're a regular person. I'm a regular person. It's just cool to see someone that I don't know. I don't have many people that like, because me and you, I would consider you a friend now. We become homies. I don't have that many people I saw that are homies that went from like beginner traders still trying to figure it out to like now kind of killing it, which is pretty dope. Like obviously we have students that are killing it, but I don't get to meet up with them in person like we get to and stuff. So I think it's pretty cool that, I don't know. We have a lot of people that we're going to help this year. The mentorship's kind of, I don't know, it's fire. I keep talking about it, but I don't know. I think it's going to be dope. Do you like teaching people?
I do. I really do enjoy it. That's why, I do kind of go
2.5 hours.
2.5 hours. Yeah. I go on my little rants and all that. And, I'm glad these people are listening in, and it's really the people that join every day who really see a difference in their trading and their life as a whole, because it's not just about trading and understanding and this and that. It's about psychology and actually become a better person, someone who's worthy. That's how I like to,
worthy. I love that. I always talk about that. I talked about it on one of the last mentorship calls, but like, don't try and make $1 million to make $1 million, but become the person that can actually be worth making $1 million. If that makes sense. Like where you guys are right now, if you haven't made $1 million, it's maybe because you're not at the point of being able to say, I don't know, like you haven't deserved it yet. You got to work hard and get there. And it's like, once you become that person that can be worth $1 million, I don't know. That's why I love trading, is it involves so much self-development. Like how has self-development kind of helped you, or like, did you have to like really focus on that during your trading journey?
Big time. Yeah, big time. So like for me, a lot of like my like life outside of trading does impact my trading. Being able to, be disciplined, patient, consistent, that all comes down to my life outside trading too. If I'm not disciplined outside trading, I can't expect to, just be disciplined in one aspect of my life and not in the others. Definitely have worked a lot on myself, become a better trader. And it goes back to me saying I focused on the process and not the money. Because again, like you can't focus on them. You have to focus on yourself. You have to focus on becoming a person worthy of it.
Yeah.
Because money's not going to change you. Money's just going to amplify who you are.
Yeah. What are some things that you did to kind of work on yourself that you think helps you become profitable?
Journaling for sure. Journaling, tracking data. Data's big.
Data's huge.
I've been big on that since honestly day one. Since I can go back in my Discord and I have data from 3 years ago. I don't even know what it is, but I was still there journaling, writing down my emotions, how I felt, and that really set my future up and where I'm at now.
For people out there who are watching, because once again, you were that person watching behind the camera, and now you're in front of it. Like, what are some words of encouragement you can give them?
Again, I'm always going to go back to be delusional. I really am, because that's really was
Pretend
my mindset.
you're in the chair. Pretend you're in the chair right now.
That really was my mindset, like, the whole time. I was big on just like getting out of my comfort zone. Like when I met you, I would like I pulled my friends there, both meets, because I went to one before when it was just Ollie, and then I went to yours, and I was just like, hey, look, like there's a chance we network. We may not, but if we do network with someone big, I mean, who's to say that it can't go somewhere? And I mean, look at it now. So I've always been big on that, push myself outside the comfort zone, meeting new people, and just honestly, like seeing what other people are doing and kind of replicating it, especially if they're in the position that I want to be in, and kind of following in their footsteps. Are they, do they have a daily task list? Do they journal? Do they work out? Do they eat well? And like, obviously, like eating well may not correlate to being a good trader, but that's who I want to be.
Help your mindset.
Yeah. And it'll help your mindset, right?
Yeah.
So, and a lot of people who do that are in the position I want to be in. So I kind of want to, replicate what they're doing in hopes that, again, being delusional, right? Hoping that it's going to get me to where I want to be.
I like what you said about the meet and greets and going out there to network and stuff, because if you don't go, you're not going to network and you make 0 people. If you go, maybe you network, but even if you don't, at least you went, because you would have still had the same results. I don't know. At least in my opinion, I like being around people, being social. And it's kind of cool because a lot of my friends, guys, nowadays, I've said it before, are all like e-friends. Like they're all literally over the internet. All my best trading friends, all that type of stuff, really are over the internet. But that's why I like kicking it with you and stuff. And because you're actually in California, so we got to like kick it and do some cool stuff. But dude, we're going to do a lot. And you just kind of, I don't know, it went from 2 4K payouts to then like the 6, and then jump out to 10, 15K payouts. But that's when it's like that level up kind of stage. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Is there any like goals for this year trade like that you want to hit?
I definitely want to hit 6 figures this year for sure. Maybe obviously more than 15K payout. Maybe, I'm reaching for 50, but again, like I said, I'm going to go into live accounts. So it may not necessarily be profit payouts, but just really stacking my bread.
That's done. I mean, hey guys, so right now when we're recording this, it's February 2nd. So we're only, a month into the year and you've already gotten 15. So what is that? 15 times 10. You're on track to do that. 6 figures on the way. Watch. But that's super dope, bro. I'm trying to think of some other stuff because I mean, I feel like because I know so much about you, it's like asking rhetorical questions, kind of know the answers. But for people out there who don't know Nix, like who's Nix?
I'm just a 20-year-old kid from a small town who was delusional and pushed myself outside of my comfort zone. Got to meet some cool people, and that's ultimately why I'm here now.
Yeah.
Your network is your net worth, and just being around them pushes you and challenges you. And going back to the networking thing, me and my friends, none of us, we were always in competition, but no one was ever doing better because we just didn't know. Like we were all from the same town with not a lot of money. And that's why we pushed ourselves to go out and meet new people. And
yeah, you knew there was more to it. I remember you told me, you're like, bro, like there's like one Lamborghini, I think, like that's ever gone to the town where you're from.
Yeah, I've only seen one Lamborghini.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's like kind of a bad, whatever. But I mean, at the end of the day, if you live here in San Diego or LA or wherever, you see them a lot more. So like you said, your network is your net worth, because if you're surrounded by people who are all driving Lamborghinis, you get to network. How'd you do that? You get into that business. Oh, dude, let's start this together. You never really know. But the same way that like, you got to network with me and stuff. Same way I've gotten to network with people like through my podcast and through this, and like that's what got me to level up. And like now you've gotten to meet me, you just met Tori, Ollie. Like I just remember the steps of me be like knowing no one, going to like Dr. Dolly, Ollie, and just kind of going up, and then meeting Mamba and whatever, which has been super cool. And I feel like I'm like friends with like everyone in the industry, which is super blessed. But you're next up, bro. That's obviously why I brought you on the team and shit. And I think you're a really good teacher. You have a way with like explaining it for people, for beginners, at least in my opinion, to help them. But we're gonna kill it. Sunday market's gonna open soon. I have my mentorship call tonight, and then yours is tomorrow morning. So get ready for that. But we're gonna go get some dinner and celebrate the 15K payout. I'm gonna take them out. Congratulations on all your success, bro. Just some final words out there for people out there who like are looking at you at 20 years old, 15K payout. Like, I don't know. What do you want to tell them? Don't say be delusional.
I was about to. Don't give up. I mean, honestly, if you don't quit, you can't fail. Like that's my mindset. That was my mindset the whole time. Stay determined. Reach out to mentors. Honestly, it did help me at the end. At first I was a little bit, what is the word? Arrogant.
Yeah. Ignorant? It doesn't have to be our mentorship. Just go invest in someone that trades the way you like, and like learn the right information. Because YouTube to me is just like it's just a big hole of like you can learn a lot to get the basics, which I recommend. But like if you want to level up, you need someone like holding you accountable, checking your journal, giving you their whole strategy in depth, trading with you live. Like I don't know, we've gone to trade live and stuff together, which I think helped. He came with me one night in LA, and I was live streaming. It was it was a big trade, but stuff like that. Like I think I hit like 27 grand or something like that.
Yeah, like $28,000.
Yeah, I had like $28,000 in front of him. I remember him just being like, bro, like I've seen it happen now, right? So it could be done.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's cool. Live training people was cool because your network is your net worth. That's the moral of the story. We didn't know each other. We got to meet through trading. Got to mentor him, turn you profitable, and bro, it's been amazing. Can't wait. We're gonna do this again, maybe in like 6 months or a year, or at the end of the year, we'll run it back and see if you hit that six. I mean, I think you will. I think you'll do it within 6 months, truthfully, because like you did it kind of easily. It's coming. Stay tuned for it. Nix, it's been an amazing time having you on here. Congratulations on all your success, and I can't wait to see what you got coming. Guys, go follow Nix. He's gonna be posting a lot more. It's all free. It's all just Discord, free journals, like all that type of stuff. You have anything coming? Or just tell him to go DM me for your free journal.
Yeah, DM me for my free journal. I got a lot of free stuff, like Luca said.
YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube. I'm not big on charging for a lot. Again, like I do the mentorship with Luca. I love doing that. I love teaching. But again, I just free. That's what I am. So
yeah. I think you have to pay attention. We do everything for free, live stream, live trade, all that type of stuff. But if you want that one-on-one help, there's plenty of people who I've let in or I've tried to mentor for free, like friends, family. And if they don't pay, they don't want to pay attention. They don't take it seriously. So that's it's a paywall. I'm gonna wrap it up right there, guys. Thank you guys so much. Make sure to like and subscribe, follow Nix, and stay tuned for what we got coming. Nix, until next year when you go hit that 6 figures, let's do it, bro.
Yeah, thank you.